Whenever we think about the future, our minds just naturally gravitate toward the obvious stuff, right? We picture flying cars, flashy new consumer apps, or these highly visible artificial intelligence interfaces. But the truth is, the most profound shifts in our society almost never happen on the surface. They happen quietly, entirely behind the scenes, deep in the foundational plumbing of our digital world. So today, in this explainer, we are unpacking the invisible infrastructure that's being designed and built right this very second. We're going to dive into the deeply necessary, incredibly complex systems that most people don't even realize we're going to desperately need. Because honestly, by the time the general public finally realizes these systems exist, they'll already be running the entire world.
So there is this massive dividing line in the world of technological development, and it all comes down to where attention is focused. The vast majority of time, money, and energy out there goes into solving the immediate headaches that we all complain about today. We want less traffic, we want our phone batteries to last longer, and we want software bugs patched yesterday. But the truly revolutionary projects, the ones that fundamentally alter the landscape, they completely ignore today's loud, immediate noise. Instead, they dedicate themselves to solving problems most of us don't even realize exist yet. It's literally like pouring the concrete foundation and routing the complex plumbing for a massive skyscraper before the architects have even finished sketching the exterior. It requires incredible foresight. So what exactly are these hidden, underlying problems of tomorrow?
Well, the first massive upcoming challenge is the total nightmare of accurate ownership tracking. Historically, ownership was, pretty simple. You held the deed to a house or your name was printed on a car title. But as our digital ecosystems become incredibly complex, keeping an indisputable record of who owns what is evolving into a monumental task. We aren't dealing with simple deeds anymore. We're entering this era of micro-ownership. Think about how difficult it is right now to track the original creator of a viral video, or a specific snippet of code used in a massive software build, or even the exact piece of data that helped train a global AI model. Our current intellectual property systems are just completely unequipped to handle assets that are fragmented and distributed across thousands of networks. Solving this baseline issue of data and digital ownership, that is the absolute bedrock of everything that comes next. Now, if ownership tracking is about knowing who formally holds the asset, the next critical piece of the puzzle is real contribution attribution. This is all about knowing exactly who built it, modified it, or added any sort of value to it at all. Remember those dreaded group projects in school? That absolute nightmare of trying to figure out who actually did the hard work versus who just slapped their name on the title page at the very last second. Now, I want you to imagine that exact dynamic, but scaled up to a hyper-collaborative global network where thousands of developers, creators, or even AI agents might seamlessly touch a single project in real time. How do you accurately, mathematically, and fairly credit every single micro-contribution without a shadow of a doubt? It's a wildly complex puzzle, and it requires an entirely new, deeply embedded layer of infrastructure to solve it. And here's the thing. If you can perfectly track ownership and you can perfectly attribute every single real contribution, you unlock the absolute holy grail, transparent automatic payouts. This is the ultimate payoff. Just think about the massive friction and how value is exchanged today. We deal with delayed wire transfers, completely opaque accounting departments, human bottlenecks, and sitting around waiting 60 to 90 days for an invoice to finally clear. Well, the future infrastructure aims to completely eradicate all of that. Imagine a system that executes pure, transparent transactions the exact millisecond a contribution is verified. No humans needed to approve the math. No messy paperwork to file. Just a seamless, frictionless flow of value based entirely on the undeniable data from those previous two steps. The absolutely crucial takeaway here is that these three elements, ownership tracking, contribution attribution, and automatic payouts, they are not optional features. They're not some premium upgrade. They are destined to quietly become absolute non-negotiables in the next wave of the internet and digital collaboration. Notice that word right there, quietly. The general public is never going to throw a parade for accurate metadata infrastructure. They aren't going to cheer for it. They will simply expect it to work flawlessly. It's going to be exactly like Wi-Fi or GPS. At first, it's indistinguishable from magic, but very quickly, it becomes a boring, absolute necessity. To the point where if it drops for even 2 seconds, we completely lose our minds. It will become the invisible pulse of the modern economy.
Recognizing these massive future hurdles is, well, actually, scratch that. It's really only half the battle. The other half is keeping a close eye on who is actually in the trenches building these solutions right now. And this is exactly where Codatta comes into the picture.
Instead of building yet another flashy consumer application to chase today's fleeting trends, they are constructing the foundational data infrastructure required to actually track, verify, and reward digital contributions. They are essentially laying down the digital concrete for this new era of collaborative ownership, positioning themselves right at the intersection of these hidden challenges. They are a prime example of a team looking past the noise of today to build the essential plumbing for the networks of tomorrow, way before the general public even realizes there is a crisis to solve.
As we look at this shifting landscape and these massive systems being quietly constructed right beneath our feet, to wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question to ponder regarding your own world. Take a look at your own industry, your daily routines, and your own workflows. Look completely past the loud complaints and the obvious roadblocks of today. What is the fundamental, underlying problem in your field that will matter more than anything else in 2 to 3 years that absolutely nobody is talking about today? Because whoever identifies and solves that hidden challenge, they aren't just making an incremental improvement. They are building the true infrastructure of tomorrow.